welcome Simon.
Thank you very
Simon
much.
is the author of Noah Can't Even, which is his debut novel, and then we're going to talk about the book today.
We are.
So, where did Noah come from? Was it the character that came first, or the themes?
It was a bit of both, actually, to be honest. I really wanted to write a teenage character who was questioning his sexuality. So that was the first thing. And I really wanted to write something that was funny as well.
Yeah.
That was kind of one of my top priorities.
Tick.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think really it's sort of, they both kind of came together really in a way in terms of the plot working out. And at the time I remembered a little bit of writing advice that I'd heard at the writing workshop, which was about trying to turn the screws on your character in every single chapter and make life a little bit worse for them every single time. And so I really kept that in my mind when I was planning Noah out, and just tried to make his life a bit more hellish every single chapter.
I think you succeed.
That's what I tried to do. So yeah, but a funny kind of sexuality questioning type of book was very much what I was going for. And when I started writing Noah, his voice did actually come fairly easily to me, actually, because he'd been sort of in the back of my mind for quite a while. Yeah, probably sort of a good year and a half or so.
Just tapping on the brain, going hello,
tapping gently away until he was let out. So yeah.
So how many sort of drafts did we go through?
Oh goodness, it was about 5 years from jotting down the first ideas through to publication. So, I mean, it's probably gone through somewhere between 8 and 15. I sort of lost count.
Yeah.
And lots of kind of half drafts and mini edits in between that as well. But a lot. And just when you think that there won't be any more, there's another one. There's always. It's never finished.
Excellent. Well, you mentioned the humour, and there is a scene where Noah makes, I think, possibly the worst cup of tea in the history of the world. Made me feel a little bit ill reading it.
Yes, it's horrible.
Please tell me you made this up and this hasn't actually happened to you.
It's it is made up, that particular escapade.
Yeah.
That he goes
So how do you use sort of real life inspiration for your books, or is it completely fictional?
Most of the events in the book are fictional, but a lot of them are based on things that did happen that I've then enhanced and adapted. So
and made worse.
Yeah. So, for example, there was a time when I was growing up when I was making a cup of tea and the milk that was in the fridge had gone off. And I was incensed about this with my mother. I thought she was the worst mother in the world because she'd allowed this pint of milk to go off in the fridge, and I was really livid. I wasn't making a cup of tea for anyone else, it was just for me. But using sort of things like that, I think you enhance it and you say, well, okay, how can we make this even more embarrassing and more horrific for the character? And of course, if you're trying to impress someone like he is at that point, Sophie, then it's already a billion times worse. So yeah, I like to try and tap into things that sort of happened or things I was thinking about, and then just make them even worse.
Yes, excellent. Remind me to tell you about the first time I tried to boil an egg later.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So what about, you've kind of looked at this a little bit in the last question, but sort of balancing your own teen experience versus research. So, obviously it's set now, so how did you find out what slang the kids are using nowadays?
I think it's always, with things like slang and keeping up to date with even things like social media and stuff, it's really tricky because it changes so quickly anyway. And of course, no sooner have you done something like that than it's out of date, so it's a real problem. Luckily with Noah, he's quite old-fashioned in how he speaks anyway, and it's not unlike him to use Shakespearean swear words to have a go at someone. So that's quite helpful for him. But certainly some of the other characters, I did have to be careful about how they were speaking and their sort of speech patterns. I think for me the best way is just, luckily I do work with quite a lot of young people and teenagers, and so often kind of hanging around with them, but being sort of with them a little bit, you do pick up things, and I think it's important as well to keep an ear out to how they're speaking and their speech patterns and so forth and words they use. And so the teenagers that I know, I'm often quizzing them about little things like that, how they might refer to stuff. You try and work a bit of that in, I think, but I think you have to be careful about doing that too much, because in a year's time, that word that is so cool now will be meaningless of a joke.
So did you get a teen to be to read? Did I see a teen?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I absolutely did get a teenage boy to have a look through it and give me his thoughts. Yeah, absolutely. So that was really helpful. Yeah.
So again, in the last question, when we were talking about the tea, you mentioned sort of thinking your mum was the worst, and I know you know that I'm incensed by this, but I am around the same age as Noah's mum, and he calls her decrepit.
He does.
It made me feel really old. But there is a big debate about who should be reading YA fiction. Where do you stand on that?
I think everybody should read YA fictions. I think it's fabulous. And the nice thing about Noah is, I know it's been read by people, some as young as 12, which I think is too young, but right through to people in their 70s, which is great. And I think YA fiction has so much to offer, because I think they are, generally speaking, really well-told, tightly told stories, which have a lot of plot, and are told in a really efficient way, and I think therefore it's great storytelling. And I'm not a fan of, to be honest, I'm not a fan of sort of literary fiction with loads of flowery description and that sort of thing. I can't bear that. I like reading for entertainment and to relax, and I think YA fiction really does that. And so that's why I think YA fiction is great for everybody. I think, I write it for teenagers, and I think it's really important that is the case. Because it is for them, but there's no reason why lots of other people can't enjoy it. And loads of people do love those coming-of-age stories, because, whether you're living it at the minute or whether you've been through those years, they're really exciting. And they're also scary, but also fabulous on the other side of the coin, and so much is happening, and there's so much drama and new stuff that's happening for the first time.
I think it is the era that everybody kind of shares in common, because young kids are aiming there.
Yes.
Older people have been there. So it kind of brings us all together.
It brings us all together in that way, absolutely. But I do think it's important that writers do write for teenagers, and that other people hopefully can get on board with that and find that exciting to read as well. But I do find it annoying sometimes. You might look at some reviews, for example, on websites about some YA books, and you'll get a comment from someone who's read it saying, "Oh, well, I thought the character was a bit immature." And you think, well, yes, they're 13, or of course they've made stupid mistakes or done stuff that doesn't make any sense to you, who is 35. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I think you have to. I think people reading it need to remember that. Remember, the age it's aimed at.
I definitely try and acknowledge that when I review. So although we shouldn't gender books, and there's again a big issue around girls' books and boys' books, there is again a debate about lack of YA for books. So how do we get boys reading more, and more importantly, writing more, so that there's more male voices there?
I think it's really important to. It's hard because you say, well, what appeal to what boys are interested in, but of course boys are interested in a whole load of stuff, and a lot of stuff that girls are interested in. It's not necessarily a divide there. When I was a teenager at school, there was one particular book in the school library which every boy wanted to borrow, and it was really popular. It was out all the time. It was always dog-eared, and it was called Diary of a Teenage Health Freak. Now, the reason why it was so popular was because there was a chart in it, which told you, this is a bit rude, I'm sorry, which told you how big your willy was supposed to be at different ages.
Oh my god.
Everyone loved it. This was sort of before you could get this on the internet, so you couldn't find this information out easily.
Okay, it's probably similar to what girls went to Judy Blume for.
Absolutely, similar type of thing. So, now I'm not suggesting that every book should include such a chart in order to get boys reading, but I do think it's quite interesting to think about sometimes the sorts of themes, issues, ideas that some boys would like to see reflected in the books they read. I do sometimes think that YA fiction can sometimes be a little bit sanitised in terms of the content, and when you think about the sort of media that teenagers are often consuming in other areas, like on TV or movies or video games or on YouTube, a lot of it can be quite a lot bolder, certainly in terms of some of the sexual content and those sorts of ideas. And I sometimes feel, not all the time, but I do sometimes feel that YA fiction could do with a bit of catching up there in some respects, and sometimes that might help
Yeah.
broaden its appeal a little bit for those teenagers who are wanting to read about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying every book has to be sex.
No.
It doesn't at all. But I do think sometimes that could be one thing that would
Definitely,
would
and that
help as
kind,
well.
kind of actually putting content warnings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If it is going to
If
be
it is going to
not
be a
for
bit-
young people.
A bit naughty.
Yeah. Cool. So again, diverse books has been a buzzword online, and your book sort of does join the growing rank of books that discuss LGBT issues. But the debate about own voices has been raising quite a lot of controversy online.
Yeah.
And I wonder, sort of, how should we approach writing stuff that is outside our experience?
Yeah.
Should we stick to what we know?
I mean, the thing is, people in all creative industries, whether they're actors or directors or writers, have always, I mean, you always have to an extent, write outside your experience, unless you're going to write something that isn't purely autobiographical, obviously. And of course there are ways of doing that involving, various forms of sort of research and immersing yourself in particular characters and situations and so on. Talking about LGBT stuff for a minute, one YA book that I love, for example, is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. Which is, a lot of people love it, but I love it. Written by Becky Albertelli, who is not a gay teenage boy. And yet, when I read that book, I felt that it was really good. I felt it was saying all the right sort of things, and to me, the experience felt totally realistic as well. And so there are situations where it can work really, really well. But I would probably feel differently maybe about that if there were no other LGBT books written by LGBT authors. And I think that's the thing. And I think when the debate then stretches into, for example, writers, black and minority ethnic groups and that sort of thing, then I think there's probably more of a problem, isn't there? Because those people are without doubt underrepresented in terms of what is being published, and so I think it's important those voices do get heard and their first-hand experience of things, which you can never match in terms of no matter how much research you do. You can never quite be the same, can it? I think that sort of needs to be addressed really. But I think it would be a shame if we could only write purely what.
Yeah, it would be boring, wouldn't it?
I think so.
And I don't think I'd want to write just what I know.
But no, absolutely. But I think if that can be tackled, and the fact that as long as we're hearing lots of diverse voices being published, then hopefully there is space for other people to join in as well. And I think certainly with LGBT stuff, I think that has happened. I think it's happened quite well, and Simon Verse is a prime example of that working well. So that can be a good thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, as you discussed, Noah's a bit old-fashioned at times, and he does have, like myself and probably a lot of writers, certain predilections for stationery. He likes stationery. What's your writing weapon of choice? Do you use pen or do you go straight to computer?
I do a bit of both. When I'm planning and working it all out, I tend to use paper, A4 blank paper, and a pencil. Yeah. Lots of charts, arrows, lines, connections.
You like charts?
I love a chart. Love a chart. But then afterwards, I'm on the laptop and I'm typing it into Scrivener usually. That's my
good program.
Yeah, it's a great
budding
program.
writers out there.
We're not selling it.
No, we're not.
Way.
There are programs available.
But it is great. Yeah. So I usually do that. But I always I think in those first stages, I need to actually physically scrawl it down on paper.
Yeah.
For sure.
Out and see it.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm a huge fan of Holly Smale's series,
Geek Girl.
And Noah kind of reminds me a little bit of Harriet. And I'm wondering, obviously that was 6 novels, 3 novellas. How many more adventures do you think we can expect from Noah?
Oh, well, there is definitely going to be another one out next year because I'm writing it at the moment. So that will be out at some point in the beginning half of next year for sure. I could write quite a lot more, I feel. I really like Noah. I love him as a character, and I find him very easy to put into more or less any situation, really, which he's going to mess up.
Yeah.
So, depending on how it does and stuff, obviously, hopefully, fingers crossed,
a few more.
you'll see a few more
Excellent.
adventures with him because it'd be great to see him go through school and stuff, finish his GCSEs, go into sixth form, be a prefect, try and be head boy, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And this obviously exploration of his sexuality throughout that period as well, rather than just the early stages.
Yeah, totally, and how that changes and how relationships change along the way would be absolutely great.
Excellent. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, if you haven't read it already, do pick up Noah Gets Even. It's a really quick and fun read. And thank you very much, Simon.
Thank you very much.